Welcome to This Day.
And today is Tuesday, February 26th, and we're going to highlight two national days. It's National Spay and Neuter Your Pet Day and National Pistachio Day. That was a tough one to say.
Pistachio Day.
Pistachio.
Yes.
So
All right.
We're going to tell you about that after Ken tells us who's on the show.
Yes, and on our show today from Villa Valencia, we have Ann Rusco, and Ann is the Lifestyle 360 Director. We also have a couple guests on from the OC Wine Fest, and they were on last year. This is a great event that's happening March 9th and 10th down in San Juan Capistrano, and maybe we'll try a little wine. We'll see about that. Then we're going to bring you a segment from the Sherman Library that is down in Corona del Mar, and also a segment with Adapt to It.
Okay, so we have one meeting today. It's the GRF Media and Communications Committee meeting, and that will be in the boardroom from 9:30 to approximately 12:30. Okay, so 2 days today. So we're going to start off with it's National Pistachio Day. Pistachios arrived in the United States sometime in the 1880s, but they have been cultivated in the Middle East since biblical times. The pistachio tree grows to about 20 feet tall, needing little or no rain, and must have high heat. In Iran, they claim they have pistachios trees still living that are 700 years old. A new tree takes between 7 and 10 years to mature and bear fruit. California produces about 300 million pounds of pistachios each year, accounting for 98% of America's production. Now, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says that pistachios are an excellent source of vitamin B6, copper, and magnesium, and a good source of protein, fiber, thiamine, and phosphorus. Scientific evidence suggests that it does, but is not proven, that eating 1.5 ounces per day of these nuts, such as pistachios, is part of a diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol and could reduce the risk of heart disease. Now, our second day is in the last Tuesday of February. It's annual observance of Spay and Neuter Day. So it's decreasing the population of stray dogs and cats throughout the United States. This day was created by Doris Day Animal League in 1994 as a day to bring attention to the pet overpopulation problem in the United States, and also to encourage to reduce the animal population in our country. So don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. And Ken, how's that weather doing?
Well, the weather is doing pretty good. If you like the fog, if you're watching us in the morning, we have a little fog out there today, but that'll give way to mostly sunny skies. Now, I've been telling you about two amounts of rain. Now, the first one is now, I think yesterday I told you it was going to come in after midnight Thursday, overnight Thursday. However, it's now due in probably here in this area Wednesday evening, maybe around 8 o'clock or so. We'll start to get a little bit of it, and then it'll last probably till maybe around 6 or 7 in the morning on Thursday. This should not produce a lot of rain, quarter of an inch maybe. However, as we look on Saturday, we have once again that what they call that river of water that's coming in, that atmospheric river. And this that comes in from the south, it's subtropical. So on Saturday, that could produce a lot of rain again, Saturday into Sunday. Right now, they're saying Saturday for this area, maybe around noon or so. That could change, obviously. We've got a few days to go. And then last until Sunday midday. But on that one, we could be looking at an inch or more of rain. So kind of like we've been having. It seems like every other weekend we get this amount of water coming in. So look forward to that if you like a lot of rain on the weekend. Let's look around Southern California today. Everything's pretty much what we had yesterday once this fog clears. Just mild weather. Beach is only about 59 as their average. 59 down at Laguna Beach. Maybe down in Dana Point a couple degrees warmer than that. Everywhere else in the mid-60s pretty much. Big Bear 46. Palm Springs 70. So yes, it's not bad today. I kind of like the fog in the morning. And pistachios, I love pistachios. Remember how they used to always be painted red and white? This was years ago. And I was told years ago that this was before they grew a lot in California, that the reason they did that, I don't know if this is true, is that when they were picking them, sometimes they would prick their fingers and a little blood would get on them, so they decided to paint them red. I don't know if that's true, but I used to hear that. But I do like pistachios. And it's nice that most of them are grown right there in California. We'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome to South County Adult Day Services. Conveniently located right here in Laguna Woods, we provide a safe, secure environment where you or your loved one can spend the day. Come socialize with friends, engage in enriching activities, receive the expert care you need, and participate in fun hobbies. Improve your mental and physical health and maintain your independence. We even take care of transportation. For a free tour, call us at 949-855-9444 or visit us at our center between El Toro and Moulton Parkway right next to the Olive Garden.
Where can you see the greatest names in golf? Still making a name for themselves? Orange County's only PGA Tour Champions event returns as the Hogue Classic. Catch the legends of the PGA Tour at Newport Beach Country Club March 6th through the 10th and help Hogue Hospital give back to the health and vitality of our community in Southern California. Also, come visit the Hogue Health Village presented by Blue Shield of California to partake in games, giveaways, and informational health talks. Tickets available now at HogueClassic.com.
Have you been struggling to hear in larger groups? Well, that can be very frustrating. We do have solutions for that at Hearing Remedy. In particular, these tiny hearing aids that can help people hear better in many, many noisy situations. Please give us a call. We have these on sale for a limited time, only $895 for a hearing aid. Call, make an appointment for your free hearing exam, and get on the road to better hearing.
Hi. I'm Wendy Miller, your Laguna Woods real estate professional. Have you been looking for a realtor?
Wendy Miller helped me through the challenging process of real estate here in Laguna Woods. She was helpful, she was fun, she was professional. I really recommend her.
Whether you're thinking of buying, selling, downsizing, or even relocating within Laguna Woods, I am your real estate professional and can help guide you through the entire process. Give me a call and I'll help you make the right move.
I choose to let someone else do the cooking.
I choose to let someone else do the driving.
Choose to experience the good life at Villa Valencia in Laguna Hills. Call or visit us today.
Well, from Villa Valencia today, I would like to welcome Ann Rusco. And Ann is the Lifestyle 360 Director of Villa Valencia. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
And I'm looking over some of the things that you're responsible for. And in a sense, it looks like you're sort of the recreation director.
I think I'm referred to sometimes as a cheerleader.
Yeah, a cheer. That's a good one. And a lot of the stuff that you plan out there really have a lot of fun things,
Absolutely.
But do have some specific purposes to each one, right?
Yes, we try to meet everyone's needs specifically. We work with the Dimension program. We have 5, so we work with the spiritual, intellectual, physical, social.
Yeah.
We try to make sure that we reach everyone and their needs in the community.
And going through some of the lists that you brought to me here today, you obviously, one of the main goals is to keep the folks active.
Absolutely.
In a variety of different
Absolutely. Things. Every week we have programs to reach the needs of every resident that's in our building, whether it's being their spirit, help them socialize. We have a trivia or a Scrabble to help them, intellectually keep it going.
I like the trivia part.
Oh, trivia.
Who comes up with the questions?
Well, we actually got the trivia game. We don't use the board, we use the questions.
Oh, like the Trivial Pursuit? I love that game.
We use the Trivial Pursuit game. We've gone online, so when we do themes, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, specifically those, and it carries a good group of followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still have those games.
They're great games, and even if you get a new version, still has all the classic questions.
That's right, because it's a lot of history involved.
Absolutely,
that's fun.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Now, one of them, you list this under emotional, gardening, arts, and crafts, and I know, just like in a community like this, how important all those are. Gardening is just a wonderful, even if you're doing a little potted plant.
Yes, thanks for asking. Actually, our new program is just going to be starting now in March. It's gardening. So we just went out and bought a raised garden.
Oh, great.
So residents of every care level are actually going to be able to walk around and to garden with it. We have it all set up upstairs now. We're just waiting for the soil and the seeds to come in to get it going.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it gets people involved doing different things. And, you know, just watching the plants grow and thrive. And I can see they have an emotional connection.
Absolutely.
To that. Yeah.
We go out for our walks on a daily basis, and we take the pruning shears and we start going into the gardens now too, which is kind of how it got all started with new gardening.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Now you mentioned the trivia, but also under intellectual, a book club.
Yes, we have one of our staff goes to the library and picks up books and then comes back into the facility. We call the residents that are interested in the program. We choose a book, and that starts the book club where they start reading, and then they have discussion groups with it.
Yeah.
So they have a choice of 5, and then.
And that covers really, well, almost all these. I know you have social as a specific one, but all these things.
Somehow they're all intertwined together. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, spiritual. This is. Are we talking about where people come in and discuss the different types of beliefs, or just spiritual being?
We have different church groups that come in on a monthly basis, weekends, evenings, gospel sings. We have a Bible study club also, and now new to our community, we have the Chinese community now that's coming in and doing cultural events and a little bit of religion with us.
Do you find that sometimes people who were always set in one religion or one way, they kind of explore the other ones as well?
Absolutely, because everyone that comes in, it's open to all denominations, so everyone is welcome. So even if you want to check, you don't have to feel that you can't go there if you just want to experience something new.
Yeah, and again, that's what I find even in this community. You have a lot of different cultures, and people love to explore the different options and different beliefs and even the different foods.
And following through the different religions and different beliefs, you find someone that wants to look into their spiritual.
Yeah.
And through that, then you can start a new program if they choose on, you know, miracles, and then who wants to come to it. And you start talking about that, and you have a new group started. So it's very cool through communication.
Now, physical, of course.
Very physical, important. Absolutely. We've got 7 days a week of physical activities. There's 2 afternoons actually where we have a balance class. We have Zumba, we have a pool that should be opening soon, and we actually put that into it too. And then we have a walking club. So we try to meet that. We have a physio group on site also that works with the residents one-on-one.
So because of the type of folks that live there, do you have different levels of
Everything is
physicality?
done from a chair.
Okay.
So every activity that's brought in for a physical is done from a chair, unless you don't come in with an aid, which would be a walker or a cane, and you feel comfortable, you can stand. All
right. Now, social, and something that you listed here, pet therapy.
Pet therapy, yeah. I'm very excited to say we just started working with the OCSPCA on Saturday. So they come in with a group of 5 dogs through a program, and they come into our main lobby. They spend an hour with us. So we'll be doing half an hour in our building and then going over to skilled nursing for half an hour to share. It was amazing to see the residents and the staff relating and calming and focusing on that.
Yeah, so they bring in pets.
Yeah, they bring in pets. Right now we're just working with dogs. We hope to get a few more after that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Now, entertainment you have there on a weekly basis? What type of things
we
you
have twice a week right now.
Okay.
We have ragtime, we have great pianists come in, we have singers. Right now we're starting into March, so we have Mardi Gras. So we're going to have a jazz duo coming in for Mardi Gras. St. Patrick's Day will be coming up on the 17th. And we have a band coming in to play all the Irish music for us.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So we try to keep with the theme of the month and the activity that's going through it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, all these programs all bring together a sense of being and wellness, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So once a month, the residents come to either a council meeting and speak of their issues, concerns. But with me also once a month, we come into a resident planning committee where the residents come and see me and give me their ideas and thoughts and how I can implement what they need into the calendar on a monthly basis.
And they sometimes give you suggestions or
Oh,
something
yes.
they would.
Yes,
they're
they
vocal,
do.
right?
Vocal, we have a suggestion box, or sometimes there's little notes, you know, like slipped under the door. But I have an open door policy, so
Yeah.
I do speak quite often with them and make sure that they're heard. And if something that they've requested, I pointed out that, you know, you
Yeah.
made it. There you go.
Now, I know you have transportation services.
Yes,
and,
we do.
Do you take folks to different locations?
We do.
or-
We have a bus that carries 17 residents. We have a wheelchair, and it has a ramp.
Okay.
We have a couple drivers too, and they'll take and a town car, and they'll take residents to and from their appointments. There's sign-up sheets and little things that we can sign for them.
And this is specific places that they request to go or need to go?
Yep, anywhere they need to go or want to go. On top of their request in the town car and into the bus, we also do outings for residents on a monthly basis. So twice a week,
Okay.
we take residents out, you know, to a museum or to a meal.
Oh, that's nice.
So we have everything there. All
Very
of our
good.
drivers. Yeah, it's very exciting.
So a lot going on there.
Yes.
And I like all the different programs that you have, and what's neat is you take input from the people that live there. And
it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to what I have thinking in my head, but I have to make sure that it works for the residents also.
Yeah.
Works for most of the community most of the time, you know,
Very
and then we
good.
just adjust it to make it work for everyone.
Is this your background? Were you in recreation?
Yes, I have. This has been my field for 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
Prior to coming to Villa Valencia, I was just from Canada. I've just been in California 6 months.
Ah, very
So
good.
the last retirement home I was in for 19 years.
Wow.
Before I kind of picked up.
What made you come down from, we're part of Canada?
I'm from Ontario,
Okay.
Toronto. Little
You wanted a little better weather.
I have family here,
Yeah.
and so my family's been waiting a really long time for me to make the adjustment, and the cards finally aligned, and I came in July, applied for a job, and I got this job
Yeah.
to continue what I love to do, and went home, packed up my life in 6 weeks, and here I am.
All right.
I
Well,
am.
great to have you on. Nice meeting you today.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And folks, if you want more information, you can just go online and villavalenciaretirement.com. The number is 949-581-6111. And if you want to consider moving in over there, they'd welcome you to come by and take a tour.
Absolutely. Love
All
to
right.
see everyone.
And thank you.
Thank you
Take
very
care,
much.
and we'll be right back.
Memorial Carey Saddleback Medical Center, we are a magnet designated facility, which means that we're in the top 8% of hospitals across the nation that are recognized for high quality patient outcomes and nursing excellence. And what that means is that we have nurses that are highly engaged and enthusiastic about their workplace, that we have lower vacancy rates, lower turnover, and high nursing satisfaction scores.
Welcome back. Well, you can see in front of me, we have a special item that's from Leslie at Adapt to It. You know, she always has some great items, and I'm so glad you brought this in because we were talking earlier and how much it can help someone. So tell me what you've got with us.
Okay, so this is called the Iceman. And what it is, if you've had surgery or an injury, it's a way to have continuous ice.
Right.
Because some of the problem with ice is that you have the ice pack, you put it in the freezer, you use it, and then it gets warm, and then you're out of your ice because it's cooling down again. So it takes, you know, depending on your freezer, about 2 hours.
Right.
And so you don't have the benefit of having any cooling going on. And everybody knows with cooling or after surgery or an injury, you have inflammation. And swelling. And so with ice, what it does, it takes it down. It helps repair things.
Okay.
So what this is, it is a system for getting continuous cool. And this is a cooler, exactly what it looks like.
Okay.
It has a little motor inside of it right here.
Oh, okay.
And then it plugs in the wall, and it has, so you just plug it in here, plug this in the top, and then plug it in the wall.
Right.
Plug this part into the pad.
Right.
And then fill this up with ice and water.
Uh-huh. Now, is it more ice? Like, do you put a lot more ice than water because it melts, or does it really not melt fast?
Well, if you have ice and water, it doesn't melt that fast.
Okay.
And technically, well, I don't know. If you do, if you add a little bit of salt to the water, it'll melt even slower.
Oh, that's good to know.
But I don't know about the motor and that.
Oh,
so
okay.
we would have to check that out.
Okay.
And then, so what you do, and this one is really nice because it has some holders for the tubing, because sometimes that kind of gets unwieldy. So what you do is you just hook this together and push it in and hook it together the right way. And then it, there you like that.
Perfect. Okay.
And then you
put this on.
There are all sorts, this is an extra large back.
Oh, okay.
So it would wrap around your back, around your shoulders. You really can, this is a universal one, so you could trim it, you could make it smaller. It's very adaptable. It has Velcro here.
And where does the actual water go through this part?
There's a pad here, yes.
Okay.
And so this whole thing gets very, very cold.
Okay.
And you can wrap it around and attach it with the Velcro.
Right.
And then so it stays on, and then you have the continual cold.
Right. Because it's flowing through these little tubes here.
Right.
Okay.
And then
that's
it has the reason why there are two, it has an inflow and an outflow. So this only melts, it doesn't decrease.
Right. Okay. So then you would lay on this for how long?
You could do, people have done 24/7 with it, depending on your injury and what your doctor says.
Right.
The only thing is you wouldn't want to put this directly on your skin. Because the cold, you want to protect your skin from too much cold.
Okay.
Typically with the professional cold packs that we have, we say about 20 minutes on and 2 hours off.
Okay.
But right after surgery, people have used this continually for 24/7.
Right. Well, as I was mentioning to you before, I had an injury in another state, and I had nothing. I didn't go to the doctor. I had to have help, and so my brother had one of these, and I put it on my lower back, and I have to say it prevented me from needing anything else. I mean, it was really great, and it was a lifesaver. So I'm so glad you have these. That's great. And how does somebody inquire about them?
They can call us at the store at the 949-457-1600.
Okay.
Or the 873-5905.
Okay.
That's our Costa Mesa office, and we do rent them. You purchase the pad because it goes on your body.
Right.
And then you can rent the cooler part of it.
Okay.
So, or you can just purchase the whole thing and have it and then the pads are for each part of your body.
I was just going to ask. So this one is for your back or a leg?
Right.
Okay. And what else do you
something
have?
you would want to wrap up. Then we have shoulder, we have ankle, we have a knee one, which is also kind of rectangle in shape, so that's kind of a universal one.
Okay.
There's a wrist one, and there's, I don't know if I mentioned shoulder, but there's a shoulder.
Right, there's a shoulder.
And shoulder's really common. That the shoulder and the knee are the two that we use this for most.
For the most, okay. Yeah, I mean, I ended up having to use the shoulder one. So even though it wasn't specific to my back, it still worked because I was getting the ice on there.
Exactly.
So. All right, excellent. And then different sizes of these, or is this like a one size?
It's pretty much one size.
Okay.
The difference becomes in the model. This is an Iceman, and it's probably the most well-known.
Okay.
But there's also one that's clear. So you can see the level of the water.
Okay.
You don't have to stop and undo it and peek in.
Okay.
You can just watch where the water is.
That's a good idea.
And
Because I never really knew. So, it's like, oh, do I need to? I think it was getting kind of not cold.
Right.
After a period of time when
You
you were
would
laying
know.
there, you would kind of know. Okay, great. Anything else exciting going on?
Well, we're looking into probably the end of the year having a health fair.
Oh, good.
And we'll have some exciting vendors and more to come on that.
Well, great. Well, you'll come on again and we'll talk about the health fair.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing this in.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Okay, and don't forget, if you guys need an ice pack or you need an ice man, make sure you go to Adapt to It. We'll see you later, right after this.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Welcome, folks. We are here in Sherman Library and Gardens here in beautiful Corona del Mar. And we have a gentleman here, Scott LaFleur, who is the director of the gardens here.
Correct, Ken.
This is absolutely beautiful. I have to admit, I've lived in this area for years and years. I pass by here along PCH. I've never been in here. It is gorgeous.
Well, thanks for stopping by. This is great to have you here today.
Yeah, what is the history of this place? How
well, we are a 2.2 acre cultural center. We were founded by a man named Arnold D. Haskell. And he was the right-hand man to Moses Hazeltine Sherman, M.H. Sherman. And M.H. Sherman was a businessman who came from Vermont and went to Arizona and then decided that L.A. was going to be the future, and so moved here. And he was involved with land development for Sherman Oaks, for Hollywood Land Corporation, for most of the southern portion of the San Fernando Valley as well. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, and so part of the reason that Mr. Haskell wanted to start this was to pay homage to his mentor, but also there was a lot of papers and important documents that needed to be saved, and that's where our research library kind of comes into play.
Well, Sherman Library holds materials relating to the history of the Pacific Southwest. So what you see here is our book collection that covers really Southern California, Arizona, and northern Mexico. We're a very good resource for those regions, and anyone's welcome to come in and use those materials.
Do you have a lot of local researchers and schools and even universities come over here and research?
We have all sorts of folks coming in to use the collections. One of the collections that's unique for us is a very good collection of city directories, and people, including genealogists, will come in to look up family members who lived in the region.
How far back do they go?
Well, the directories certainly go into the late 19th century, so the late 1800s, but of course most of them are a little more recent. But if you had a family member who is, for instance, living in Los Angeles at the turn of the century, we could certainly help you find them.
We're down kind of in the bowels here, sort of a secret lair of the Sherman Library and Gardens. What is the space used for?
Well, this is where we store the documents and photographs and maps and other research materials that people can come and use. Typically, people don't come down here, but we'll bring materials up so that they can use them. But this is where we can store them for the long term and make sure that they're properly preserved. We welcome people coming in doing all sorts of research, and we'll work with them to find what they're interested in, and then we'll bring it upstairs so that they can use it and hopefully further their research. We can make photocopies for it, and most people these days use their smartphone and take an image of it with that, or we can have a professionally produced print made if it's a photograph. What is unique about this library? These are materials that in many cases you can find absolutely nowhere else, and so we want to make sure people know about them and make them available to them.
And right next to you here is a wonderful, nowadays an archive, but a beautiful one. of a card catalog, how, you know, we used to always look up material, and at least for this facility, you still use this, right?
Yes, we're a little traditional here. We're a small library, and so we've continued to use the card catalog, and we find that people really enjoy seeing it again. For many families, when they come in with younger children, the parents or grandparents are happy to come over to the card catalog and start showing their the younger members of the family what it was like to do research when they were in school. We're in the process of moving this card catalog into a electronic database, and we're also working to digitize many of our photographs so that more people will have access to the holdings of the Sherman Library.
Well, that's wonderful. Paul, I want to thank you for the tour here. So Scott, we mentioned how the way this garden is set up, it's almost like different rooms, different environments. This one is totally different than the open garden that's out there with the fountain.
Exactly. Well, we're now in our subtropical house, and so we have a lot of plants that are from the subtropics here, tree ferns, really cool palm trees, bromeliads that are in this area, and then directly across goes to our tropical conservatory. So you get this whole different perspective on the world of plants around us.
What about the watering conditions here? How do you go about that?
Well, we actually have been meeting our 25% reduction, so we have been actually cutting out lawn areas that we don't need.
Okay.
We have soil probes where you actually push a probe into the soil, pulls out a core. You can see how deep the water is, and if you need to water in that area. We do lots of hand watering, and we also have what are called smart controllers, which are tuned into weather satellites and only come on if it's absolutely necessary or if they need to. They also can pick up on that really heavy dew or marine layer that's around in the morning, and you don't have to worry about overwatering.
People can limit their watering.
They can. They absolutely can. And it's really, you got to check the soil. There's no other way to kind of think about how to do things except get out there, stick your finger in, dig a little bit, and figure it out.
Do you have to change the soil conditions for different environments?
You do, and here at the garden over the last 50 years, the soil conditions have been changed greatly. So we have really nice soil beds. If you had a brand new house or a brand new lot, you might want to choose some different plantings and maybe go more with California natives, so you wouldn't have to amend the soil as much, and plus you get the water-saving benefits of that as well, and planting the beauty of our natural environment. It's like living artwork, isn't it?
Really
it does
is.
look like it. So what's really cool is the Sherman Foundation supports, and the M.H. Sherman Company supports a scholarship with students from Cal Poly. And so we give 1 to 2 full ride scholarships away a year, and then the students come here and do a 6-week internship. So Matt Maggio was one of our original scholarship winners, and he worked here for 2 different internships during the summer. Then he was given the job of redesigning this.
Wow.
And so this is one of our own kind of trained and brought up through our little family of interns, and it's absolutely just stunning. So he's gone and done 3 different amazing things in this little space. If you're standing here, we've got this beautiful agave, which is actually in full bloom, which is wonderful. The blue Senecio River, and then these patterns of rocks and succulents, which really give that motion feeling going around. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and then this over here,
this
totally different.
Totally different. Dry riverbed, mountainous regions from semi-arid and arid areas where these cactuses and agaves would all grow. And then, of course, on this side is this really cool sort of underwater theme. He's got some shells in here. He's got corally looking kind of plants, and it has really that effect to that as well. So, and he loves, you can tell, he loves his rocks.
Yes.
And the rocks really make an important statement in here as well.
What's amazing to me is seeing this variety, and yet, if I'm correct in assuming, it's pretty low maintenance once you get these in.
Yeah.
I mean, people can have magnificent gardens at a probably a little bit smaller scale than this.
And Matt is still on our staff, but he only comes once or twice a month.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then besides that, really not much of the other staff does much over here.
That is really amazing. It is absolutely beautiful and stunning. I think this is probably my favorite part of the garden.
It definitely is mine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
The Sherman Foundation is the owner of this, but we are a public garden institution open to the public, so we invite people to come. We want people to come, and much like you, lots of people drive by and never stop. And so hopefully we're reaching more people these days and getting them to come on in.
Through my window, I see the first sunlight, and I feel the warm ocean breeze. I see the waves that lulled me all night. That's what my window brings me.
Look at this.
That view is $1 million.
It's amazing. We can look at these kinds of places within our budget.
You don't have a bad view from here anywhere you look.
It's all about the view. Sunday night is beach night. Sunday night at 8, only on HGTV.
Welcome back. We have a very special treat for you this morning. We are going to be doing some wine tasting. We have the OC Wine Fest folks here. We have Chad Kearns and Sean McGee. Well, welcome you guys.
Well, thank you.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us and bringing some delicious drinks for us today. So why don't we start off, Chad, tell us a little bit about kind of your history and how OC Wine Fest came about.
Well, we started our winery back in 2006. I started making commercial wine and ended up opening my wine tasting room and winery down here in Orange County back in 2011. In about 2016, Sean came to me and had this event facility, and we decided to start a third winery for ourselves, a stone's throw down in San Juan Capistrano. And then the LA wine folks came to us and wanted to start a wine fest down here in Orange County to mirror their LA wine fest. So that's how we came to be OC Wine Fest.
Right, and this is, how many years have you been doing this now?
This will be the second annual OC Wine Fest.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Yeah, we, to just give you some brief background on it, Dr. Joel Fisher's been doing the LA Wine Fest very successfully up in LA for about 14 or 15 years now. And so he approached me back in like 2014 and said, hey, I would like to do an OC Wine Fest. You know, you're on 3 acres down there, there's plenty of space, and I think it could be a great success. So we had some additional discussions and we agreed upon it, and then out of nowhere I kind of got slated to take over as the deputy commander of Expeditionary Strike Group 3 down in San Diego. So about 3 or 4 months into that tour, I got diagnosed with stage 3B lymphoma. So I spent the next 6 or 7 months going through chemotherapy, and I've had several clear CAT scans since then. And at the end of that treatment, well, thank you. At the end of that treatment, Joel reached out to me in 2017 and said, hey, Sean, do you still want to do the OC Wine Fest? And I said, absolutely, Joel, let's get this thing going. And so Joel always has a beneficiary when he puts on these wine fests. So in our group discussions, we said, hey, do you guys have any ideas? And obviously being a cancer survivor, I said, hey, let's have the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society as our beneficiary. Perfect. So last year we just had LLS as the beneficiary. This year we've added 2 additional beneficiaries.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes. We've added Kids Connected. Kids Connected is an organization that provides support to children whose parents are fighting cancer and going through chemotherapy. So a great fit. And then the other foundation that we started was the Swanner House Restoration Foundation. Okay. Because the Swanner House down in San Juan Capistrano is on the National Historic Registry. But the city doesn't allocate general funds to really rehabilitate that property and keep it in good condition. Okay. So we wanted to start a nonprofit so that we can help keep that property for future generations.
Yeah, we've spent the last 2 years and a lot of our own private funds putting it back together. It wasn't watered well. There was no irrigation system for the plants and things around the property. So some of the old plants were passing away. It's a historic orange orchard, Valencia oranges, and a lot of those were passing away because of the lack of water. So we've done a lot of work on that. Now we're turning our eyes back to the house. It hadn't been painted in a long time, so we color matched it to the original color and went ahead and rehabbed the paint. And now we're working on the inside. Somebody had put a carpet on the inside that was not era specific, so we went ahead and took up the carpet and refinished the hardwood floors upstairs.
Oh, that's great.
So it really looks fantastic. So we're still working on that, but you know our private funds only go so far, so we're kind of looking to raise some capital to go ahead and put that back into the house for the city.
Is the hope to have that open to the public at one time and have tours?
We do, yeah, we do
tours?
have hopes of having tours. We'll take people upstairs when we're open. We obviously use the house for our tasting room, but we will be giving tours of upstairs. We use it as a bridal suite right now for our events and weddings and things that go on.
Nice.
But yeah, we have plans on doing various educational tours and historic tours around the property.
Okay. Yeah, it's open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's unique in this sense. You know, when I told my mom that about, hey, I'm going to invest in this winery, and she goes, well, where is this winery? And so I explained it to her. I said, hey, it's off the 5 freeway. And I explained that water tower. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it kind of comes up on an angle with a square box on top. And so she said, I know that property because when your dad was at MCRD in 1956, and I used to drive down from Fresno to visit him, the 101 or the one, whatever it was called at the time, went right in front of that property. So it's unique that she remembered that after all these years, just because of that iconic water tower.
Well, see, I think you need to keep that there so we can all find it.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no plans in removing any of that.
Yeah. All right. Good. So last year, the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society benefit. How did that go?
It went well. We ended up raising between LLS at the winery in itself, and then some corporate sponsors I reached out to, and then some other fundraising efforts. Off of OC Wine Fest, we raised just under $50,000 for LLS.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
For that weekend, yeah. So I'd like to beat that number again this year. And I know when we talked last year, I said, hey, one of the goals is that this becomes like a signature event, you know, kind of a legacy event, that we can continue to grow it. And so that year in, year out, the event gets bigger and we can help raise more money for LLS and now Kids Connected, right? Who doesn't want to help find a cure for cancer? Right. So it's a great cause. But yeah, it was very successful, and I was very, you know, anxious about it because they say a couple things about the wine business, right? If you want to get rich, don't start a winery.
If you want to make a small fortune, start with a large one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And if you want to get rich, don't do Wine Fest, right?
Right. Oh my God.
So we were pleasantly surprised. So I think over the 2-day period we had roughly 800 people show up for our first event. So that was excellent.
Good.
That's impressive.
So let's talk a little bit about this year's Wine Fest. What are some new things different from last year?
The layout's pretty much the same as it was last year, as far as you'll be covered, not standing out in the sun. We've got 5 food trucks and over 50 vendors, I believe. We have a few more wineries this year than we had last year. Okay. And we have a couple breweries coming, and I think there's one distillery that is coming. Okay. So a lot of different things going on. We've got a lounge area that's being sponsored.
How did you, I want to know, how did you get into the wine business? Have you been doing that for a long time, or is it just
what I always tell people is I like to drink wine. I went to school up in Northern California, and as being in school up there, Napa was in our backyard. I was just south of Lodi. I went to the University of Pacific in Stockton. Okay. Got a doctorate in pharmacy, and a lot of chemistry background, and we would go help out in the wineries and be cellar rats on the weekends and things like that. So as I got out in professional life, I did a lot of the things that Sean experienced. I treated a lot of cancer patients, and I was involved in infusion back in the HIV days when it was not, particularly pleasant. The disease has changed significantly. Right. But I needed something that was relaxing to me, and wine tasting was where my wife and I always found ourselves. I could walk in the winery, I could walk on the vineyard, and it was just like my life melted away. And I always wanted to do that. So as I worked and became successful in my professional career, we started looking at having a winery ourselves. And we tried up in Paso for years and years, and I lost out to a lot of properties. I started looking when Paso only had about 29 wineries. They're approaching 400, I think, now.
Holy wow.
So, I just kept making full price offers on raw land, and a winery would come in and beat me out. Wow. So we kind of licked our wounds and came back down to Orange County, and I found this old historic horse ranch and have rehabbed it. And the interesting thing is Orange County was wineries and grapes before Napa existed. Yeah. Back in the 1850s, there were 47 wineries in Orange County.
Wow.
So Madame Majeska, back in the 1860s, she spent $15,000 putting in a vineyard, which would be millions today in today's money.
Yeah. And it's a great spot that you have your winery, and it's really nice to go back out there and kind of get away from everything. So I noticed you brought some wines with you, so we would just love to taste some here on our morning show. What do you have for us?
Well, I have 3 wines. I have our Jirachi Chardonnay, which won some awards a couple years ago. I have the Stone's Throw Zinfandel, which just won a silver medal at the West Coast Wine Competition.
Okay.
And I have our Jirachi Ragazzo Grande, which is Italian for the big boy. And it is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot.
Okay.
And that one won a silver at the West Coast Wine Competition as well.
Great, and you will feature those wines at the OC Wine Fest,
They
right?
will all be at the OC Wine Fest. We have we actually took 6 medals at that competition, and the competitions are just getting started. So that one's a big one. It's done up at the Sonoma Fairgrounds. So you're competing with all the big wineries up in Sonoma and Napa.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with where we ended up. Jirachi did win a double gold at that one for its Zinfandel.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and Chad on Saturday and Sunday is going to be doing a wine class too.
Yeah,
that's good.
OC Wine Fest does do seminars, and there's a number of us. We're doing some food and wine pairings, and yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, while you're opening that, I'm going to have you tell us a little bit about the event and all the fun things other than what he said. I know there's going to be some music.
Yeah, so we are going to have 2 live bands during the event, and there's some other things that we're doing this year that we didn't have last year. So we do have a vendor that's a gourmet cheese vendor. So when people come to the event, that's included in their general admission, or if they're buying the premium ticket, that's included, so they can go and pair the different wines with the cheeses. And then this year also we have an additional, I think, like 16 life exhibitors that selling various products associated with wine, and so that'll be fun for people that they can shop. And then the other piece that, I'm sorry for looking at my notes, but I want to make sure that I cover this. There was the wine, food, and pairing classes that we talked about, and the tequila spirits, which Chad mentioned is kind of new for us this year. So I think they're like a boutique manufacturer. I don't know what you call a boutique manufacturer, someone who makes spirits. A moonshiner?
That's possible. Don't say that out loud.
So
if they're doing it under the table.
Yeah, really. All right, so educate us on the wine.
This one, as I said, this one's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot out of Paso. I sourced the grapes out of, this one is East Side Paso. And the Merlot that's in it is, I think, most people in Paso would say it's probably the best Merlot grape in Paso.
Oh.
So.
Let me ask you a question. You've been in this business now for about 10 years?
Yeah.
Have you noticed, I've heard the alcohol content going up in wines, mainly because of we've had warmer weather, produces more sugars, more alcohol. It used to be that the Central Coast, Santa Barbara, was known for a little bit higher alcohol. And I can remember back then, mid-80s, mid-90s, they were like 13, 14%. Or up in Napa, you were like 11, 12%. But I've seen a natural rise in all of them. Did you find that?
Yeah, we do find that. When you're watching your grapes ripen and you're getting ready to pick them, you're looking at a number of different things: pH, as well as the ripeness of the fruit from the seed. The alcohol content or the sugar content of the grapes, how many bricks it is, and we target between 24 and 25 usually to harvest, but keeping it at that level and waiting for the grape to get ripe, because if you take it off before it's ripe, you're not going to get the same kind of flavor profile fermenting it on those skins as you do when you're picking it when it's actually ripe. So it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
There are parts of our industry, there are people that are coming in and removing the alcohol from wine. You can have your wine either filtered and they can take the alcohol out of it, or spun and you can take the alcohol out of it.
This is
cool.
very nice.
It
Now,
tastes delicious.
What I get out of this right away is I get cranberry.
Yep.
Yeah, right away I get that.
You know so much about wine.
Well, and that's as I was talking to you off camera before we started.
Yeah.
I like to go for the bright fruits.
This is brighter than I would normally associate with a cab.
Yeah.
And I know this is a blend, but even for a Merlot, often they become kind of muddy, and this is not. This is nice and.
It sort of
nice
depends
and
on the
bright.
soil that it's grown out
Yeah.
too. This is the vineyard that this was grown at started out as a alfalfa farm, and they
Wow.
when Paso was getting built, they were one of the first places to start to plow under their alfalfa and start to plant grapes. So they've probably been going for 25 years.
Wow, that's great. Well, I want to thank you both. This has been excellent.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck with the OC Wine Fest. And I wanted to let our audience know that we have 2 sets of 2 tickets for you. So the first people to email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com will receive 2 free tickets.
What was that?
So go ahead and do that. That's Laguna Woods Village TV. Wait, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Thank you so much. It was
All right.
really nice to see you guys
Do you
again.
mind if I thank our sponsors really quickly? Do we have
Well,
a
you may
second
go
for that?
ahead and do that.
Awesome, thank you. So I wanted to give a big thank you to our sponsors and affiliates, and that's Jaguar and Land Rover, A Stone's Throw Winery, Rancho Capistrano Winery, JA Event Productions, Sauté Magazine, Dish Magazine, Orange Coast Magazine, OC Wine Trail, OC Wine Society, Sparklets, HHC Roasters, and the Santa Margarita Water District.
Wow, you did a great job. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
I did whatever I felt I had to in order to feed my addiction. I couldn't fight it anymore, but I didn't know how to stop. When I hit bottom, my family intervened and found beginnings treatment centers. Today I'm not a slave to my addiction. I have my family and my life back. I hope and pray that if you or a loved one needs help, that you make the call like I did.
Having great home care is as easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm Lori Renaud with Acticare Responsive In-Home Care. We can provide the perfect caregiver for you to receive exceptional care in the comfort of your home. Step 1, call to schedule a care consultation. Step 2, meet with a registered nurse in your home. Step 3, start receiving care. Aging doesn't have to be difficult. Call today to get the help you deserve.
Do you know the difference between the parts of Medicare? Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. There are many important facts you need to understand about Medicare to make sure you get the most out of the Medicare plans and benefits that are available to you. My name is Erin Reed, and I'm a licensed Medicare expert, and I would love to help you navigate the complicated Medicare system. Please call me today for a free consultation so we can figure out the plan that is right for you.
What lies inside all of us is more than data. It's life. What's flowing through America's veins is its diversity. We ask for 1 million individuals to come forward and stand on this landmark in history. All of us are different, and it's those very differences that will lead to answers for generations to come.
Welcome back. I'm Kiana Lee. Today we're talking to Dr. Chuck Lee of 7-Day Dental. Today's topic is dental implants. Doctor, what do we need to know about dental implants?
Well, when you lose a tooth, you lose bone. With a dental implant, it maintains your bone, and it's an easy procedure. We are open 7 days a week, 365 days a year for all your dental needs.
Thank you, doctor. So come on in and get your 7-Day Dental smile.
Welcome back. So we have a movie on Friday, and you know, Ken thinks he's so funny. He changed my little thing that has like scary eyes, and so I'm thinking we're watching a scary movie. Okay, but it's not, shame on you. It is At Eternity's Gate with William Dafoe, and a look at the life of painter Vincent van Gogh. Hardly scary. During the time he lived in, well, is that Arles and Aveux or Oy, France? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm horrible. At Eternity's Gate is a journey inside the world and mind of a person who, despite skepticism, ridicule, and illness, created some of the world's most beloved and stunning works of art. This is not a forensic biography, but rather scenes based on Vincent van Gogh's letters. Common agreement about events in his life that present as facts, hearsay, and moments that are just plain invented. William Dafoe, Rupert Friend, and Oscar Isaac, and that is a PG-13, and it's a biography, a drama, and that will be on Friday. at 2 and 7 p.m.
Yeah, and he was up for Best Actor.
Okay.
Yeah, a good movie, very good movie. Now, we got some good weather coming your way. Today, we have a little fog in the morning. Now, if you're watching us in the morning, it's pretty much gone. It's going to clear up to pretty much the same temps and sunshine that we had yesterday, which was beautiful out. Maybe a little high clouds out there. We're going to be mainly in the mid-60s. Beaches are going to be anywhere from 59 to about 60 degrees. Coming up, though, the rain is now coming in probably Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. That shouldn't be a lot. The one that could be a lot, that atmospheric river, as they call it, could be on Saturday, and we could be looking at from Saturday, probably midday to Sunday midday. You know, certain areas could get an inch or more of rain. So not probably as much as some of the past storms, but still a decent amount. So keep that in mind. And as they said around Orange County today, we're in the mid-60s. The beach is around 60 degrees or so. Nice weather, though, very beautiful. And tomorrow we'll get those increasing clouds, so we make our way for that small little system to come in, right?
Yep. And then I wanted to remind you that if you guys wanted additional information about the OC Wine Fest, you can always go to ocwinefest.com. And don't forget that if you're one of the first 2 people to email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com, you will receive free tickets to the OC Wine Fest. I hope it doesn't rain, you know, this weekend, because they've got the Whales Festival.
Well, it's the weekend, it's the next weekend that they're on.
Well,
so
they're on, yeah, but this weekend is the OC,
yeah, so I can't give you a forecast that much in it.
All right, well, we'll tune back on Thursday and see where we're at with the weather. But anyway, tomorrow's show, we have the Senior Center. We're going to have a security update with Tim Moy, Thrive, and the Reform Temple. So,
all right.
Looks good tomorrow.
Sounds
have
good.
a lovely day today. We're going to finish off our wine.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.